Good morning. Today I'll be going through the evidence-based translation into practice article about implementing a second victim peer support group. What is the topic? The topic is implementing a second victim peer support group for anesthesia staff involved in adverse events. Adverse events can range from medical errors that do or do not result in patient harm, patient death, cardiac arrest, and pediatric emergencies. What is a second victim? In the event where patient harm is incurred, the patient is the first victim, and the healthcare provider who feels responsible for this harm is the second victim. Healthcare providers take an oath of non-maleficence and feel responsible for poor patient outcomes. The emotional response to these feelings are guilt, shame, depression, anxiety, fear, lack of confidence, fear of judgment and blame by their colleagues, fear of litigation, and self-doubt. These feelings can lead to further errors, burnout, desire for or a change in career, and in extreme cases, suicide. There are copious amounts of literature on the widespread prevalence of this issue, and it is estimated that more than 50% of healthcare providers will suffer from this phenomenon within their career. There is a persistent lack of provider knowledge about the phenomenon, as it is not generally taught in medical or nursing programs, and in the terminology and education is not provided in hospital settings. Hospital response teams are needed to address the needed staff support after adverse events, but they are lacking. The 2018 Joint Commission highlighted the issue and supported implementation of peer support teams in the hospital setting. The peer-to-peer support program that was implemented was called the Healing Emotional Lives of Peers and was entitled the HELP program. It was modeled after 6 reputable peer support programs with published evidence of success and the Joint Commission recommendations. It was implemented into a large department of anesthesia with 632 individuals across 3 campuses. These individuals included an anesthesiologist, CRNAs, SRNAs, residents, and fellows. What is being translated? Healthcare providers suffer from second victimhood at high rates which are not addressed. A majority of providers report a lack of hospital support. Evidence shows that immediate peer-to-peer support to be the most effective and the most desired form of support. A peer-to-peer support program was implemented based off of evidence-based practice. A 3-tier system was utilized. The first tier was department support of peers and supervisors who were on campus at the time of the event and were able to provide immediate support. The second tier involved trained peer supporters who were tasked with reaching out within 24 to 72 hours to meet with the individual involved in the encounter. And the third tier were referral networks already in place, such as EAP and chaplaincy. What was the outcome? 9% of the department was trained as peer supporters. These were volunteers who attended additional education to fill the role. Over 2 years, 91 electronic activations were sent out for the HELP program for 179 team members. These activations were mainly by peers and not by individuals who felt directly involved in the event. 130 encounters took place. These encounters were not mandatory, so of the 179 team members who referred for help, mainly by others and not by themselves, 75% took advantage of the opportunity and met with the peer supporters. The average encounter time length was 19 minutes, but ranged from 10 minutes to 240 minutes. 90% of the returned encounter evaluations rated the experience to be very beneficial and extremely satisfying. So the outcome of this program shows that staff need support. Staff don't generally ask for support after an adverse event, but when it's offered to them, they take it and they feel like it is beneficial and is satisfying for them, and that report feeling supported after this support is offered. These are my references, and thank you for listening.